Who would you say your most, well, like your most difficult relationship and your best relationship?
The most difficult relationship I would say is with my dad.
Okay.
We're a lot alike, but we're I don't know, we're not like open with each other. So if he says something like clean up or something, that it just feels like he's targeting me or trying to be mean towards me, and I
Mm-hmm.
just respond in a negative way, and it leads to arguments or like Christmas time. I don't get him Christmas coming up. I don't get him the big gifts like I give my mom or my little sister.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Okay, and so what, like, early on, when did the trouble start with your dad? Can you tell me the story
um,
from like the first time and up until now?
the first time probably when he first got out of jail. So he never really was in my life until I don't know. I was 10, 11 years old. He came into my life. Got out of jail for assault, and he was trying to like say all this positive stuff, and I just kept thinking in the back of my head like you just got out of jail for beating the crap out of someone, and you want to spin this and come back in our life and all positive. But at the beginning, my mom told me that you left and you didn't want to be a part of our lives, and it was just from there. It's just all them thoughts like, why should I even try to build a relationship with him? And then when I started seeing his real personality, I was like, I don't want to have a relationship or with him or yeah. So,
Okay, so what have your interactions been like from then until now?
um, they actually seem like they're pretty much the same, but they happen more often.
Okay.
So because I live with them now,
Mm-hmm.
we get into a lot more arguments than how it was before when I was living on my own, and it just makes it difficult living in the house. Like when he's there, I just feel like all this anxiety or either I'm angry or I'm real sad. So it's like no in between. Like, okay, I'm fine. He's here and it doesn't bother me. But it
Okay.
seems like being around him for like 5 to 10 minutes, I get annoyed. So, or sad. Or,
Right. So that relationship's difficult, and when you do have interactions, it's kind of tough. And it sounded like that kind of stems from the when he went to prison and came back. Is
mm-hmm.
that, do you feel like that's accurate?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so it sounded like the thoughts you were having there were that right after he got out of prison, he was trying to be really positive about like we're gonna make this work, and that kind of frustrated you. It sounded like.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think? And you said, he, what was the reason you said you felt like he was acting that way?
I think he wanted to build like a relationship with me, but he doesn't know how to because I have all this built up like anger towards him because he left and he's trying to come back. Like, why did you leave? And now he's
Right,
trying to
right.
come back.
And I know some of the things in his past may have been bad, but do you think there could be a positive reason he's trying to do that?
Yeah, he's just trying to be a father and lead me down the right path and away from the path that he went down.
Yeah.
So,
Well, that's good. That's good. You realize
mm-hmm.
that that's possible, and it sounds like you also recognize. I like the thought that you had that he um, might not know how to be a good father.
Mm-hmm.
So that's, I think, something you can remember when he's giving you difficult situations, when he's upsetting you.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he's maybe not aware of how to be a good father as well. So when you start to have those thoughts that like he's the same guy and he did some bad things in the past and those frustrating thoughts about him,
Mm-hmm.
try and like stop yourself and think about alternatives maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that's something you could try?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
it's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and because like I those thoughts it can sometimes affect your behaviors. They immediately like you immediately have those thoughts, and sometimes it leads to behaviors. If you
Mm-hmm.
can change those thoughts, maybe you can have more positive interactions with him. Try and identify other reasons and be more positive with
Mm-hmm.
him. Not to say that you're negative, but I know it can be hard when you have someone in your life that you're frustrated with.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and who would you say the best relationship you have is with?
Probably my little sister. She's very like supportive. We do a lot of stuff together, and she's kind of like role modeling after me. So it pushes me to actually want to get better or attend the groups I need to and take my medication and try to build like a relationship with other people, because she always says that I don't try hard enough to interact with other people besides her and the couple of people I know.
That's good. So she kind of motivates you to be better. When did your relationship start like building in that positive way, would you say?
Probably since she was a baby. So she's 7 years younger than me. So I always, like, when she was a baby, I would help change her or take her to the park with my mom. And we kind of, like, as we got older, she would go to the park with me, or I'd take her out shopping, and we would just talk. And she never was, like, the annoying little sister that you usually expect to have. But, yeah.
Okay. So it sounds like in that relationship, you're really trying to be the role model.
Mm-hmm.
And despite the things you're going through and the struggles you're having, you're trying to be a positive influence in her life.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I'd like you to. I know one thing we talked about in the past is you really like art. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you think you could draw a story about her and you and show me like the progression of your relationship, like from the beginning to right now?
It's like a timeline.
Well, yeah, but like in a fun way. Like you can draw out like things, that, important events in that story.
Okay.
And then we can talk about that a little bit.
It's actually fun.
I'm glad. Okay, so could you explain to me what's happening here?
Okay, so this is me and my sister, and we're just having a good time laughing. And we're at our backyard in our house, which is like a comfort space for me. And then over here is just the old me, like being sad and alone because she wasn't born. So
Okay. So this is kind of the progression from being alone to having someone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's good. I'm glad you enjoyed doing this. And what do relationships mean to you? I'd like to ask you that.
I don't know. Is relationships mean having someone that's there for you, that care about your well-being, and like being an ear to listen to, and just like love and support, basically.
Okay. So that's good. And you have that with your sister.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So with the relationship you were struggling with your dad,
Mm-hmm.
do you think there's another way you could look at that relationship?
Do you mean like in a more different way, like
Yeah.
how I view him?
Yeah. Well,
Or I
right.
view the relationship.
A bit of both. So you identified relationship as meaning you're there for the other person you love and support them. So it sounds like from what you said with your dad, you have a little bit of trouble right there right now, and you kind of see it as he has a bad past and he made some mistakes. And with your sister, it sounds like you're trying to be a positive role model for her.
Mm-hmm.
So is there a way you could kind of include that same mentality with him?
Yeah, I think most of our relationship, like with my dad, is not trusting him. Like, I love him and I don't feel supportive. So and I think I don't feel supportive because I don't make an effort to try with him. So just trying to be more open when he talks and like support what he's saying, or not respond negatively, I guess, when he's talking to me.
Yeah. Well, and what I was thinking about is with your sister, you're trying to be a positive role model.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe your dad needs a positive role model too. Not necessarily in the traditional way because you are his daughter, but maybe he needs to see how he can be a good father to you. If you act in a positive way towards him, maybe he can help understand how you'd like him to act towards you, and maybe having that conversation with him about your interactions.
Oh, okay.